if you're a real estate agent or a broker or a team leader, I want you to actually look closely at your market right now. Think about the top producing agents in your city, the ones whose name is on every luxurious listing, who faces on billboards, and who seems effortlessly, close every massive commercial or residential deal. Now, I want you to ask yourself an honest question, okay? Are they truly a better sales negotiator than you? You need to ask yourself this question. Are their properties, structurally superior to yours? Or is their customer service flawless? Most of the time, the answer is absolutely no. Okay. You see, they are not better. It's just that they are more familiar. Okay. My name is Malik Idris Tenuche, and I'm the founder of Leek. So today I'm pulling back the curtain on the deepest layer of human sales psychology that dictates exactly how real estate decisions are made. Okay. I'm going to show you, or I'm going to introduce you to a psychological phenomenon discovered over about 50 years ago called the mere exposure, also known as the familiarity principle. I'm going to show you exactly how the top 1% of real estate agents or real estate corporations use this subliminal, framework to completely capture a local market trust without ever speaking to them. Okay. And how we build the exact digital AI infrastructure to automate their entire process. And if you're still relying on cold generic or single view leaflets to get a client, your business is functionally obsolete. Okay. So I'm going to break down the maths and the science of the absolute market dominance you need to know. Okay. So let's get into it. Now, before we move forward, I want to talk about the human brain. Okay. Let's talk about the human brain and how it actually processes information. You see, in social psychology, the mere exposure effect proves that human beings develop an automatic subconscious preference for things simply because they have been exposed to them before. Okay. And not just, before, repeatedly, something that has been exposed to your face repeatedly. Now, I know you're going to ask yourself this question: why does this happen? Now, it comes down to two neurological mechanisms. You see, the evolutionary safety and the perceptual fluency. You see, from an evolutionary standing point, okay, I'm talking about the standpoint. Early humans were wired to be deeply terrified by the unknown, okay? If a caveman today, in this era, saw a new plant or a strange animal, uncertainty meant a potential danger for them. But if they saw the same river, the same 50 trees over and over, without any negative consequences, the brain flags that object as a safe and harmless, you know, phenomenon. Okay. So familiarity brings a sense of comfort and perceived security to the humans, right? So the second mechanism is, perceptual fluency. And what am I talking about? Your mind is inherently lazy. Okay. It consistently or constantly looks at the path of least resistance. When a prospect is repeatedly exposed to your brain, maybe asset, your specific tech aesthetics, your voice, okay, your content, the way you dress, how you speak on your content, the brain requires significant less cognitive, energy to, process your existence. Okay. It's not going to take them much time in the brain to actually process. Oh, I've sent this guy, 7 times. Okay. So if you're a real estate agent, it becomes more easier to understand you. And because humans are terrible at separating cognitive ease from emotional preference, okay, their brain mistakenly translate their familiarity directly into trust, authority, and likability. Okay. Now apply this directly to real estate decisions a human being will, ever make in their entire life. You see, when a seller is getting ready to list multi-million dollar assets, or commercial, developers is looking for a brokerage to, move a massive portfolio, they are gripped by massive or risk aversion. Okay, they do not just sit down and objectively grade every real estate agent in their city on a logical matrix. Okay, they do not do that. Instead, they default to autopilot. Okay, they instinctively reach out to brand that has been floating around their subconscious mind maybe for the last 6 months, or they choose familiarity over logic. Yeah, that's what they do, or every single time. So you need to understand this. Okay, so if familiarity is the key to winning listings, how do average real estate agents out there try to achieve it? Now they try to force it manually using outdated hyperlinear methods. They print out about 5,000 generic flyers, like, for example, call me for free marketing appraisers, and the next day they dump remaining ones into local mailbox, or they set up a cold outreach pipelines, forcing humans assistant to dial about local 1,000 numbers a day, which is not actually possible, or if it's at the same time simultaneously. See, in all those totally, what I see is that you as a real estate agent or a team broker, you are just screaming for attention. Okay, so for me, here is why that approach is a complete economic failure in the modern landscape today in 2026. You see, back in early 2000s, you see, marketing data showed that it took about an average of 4 to 5 touch points or exposure before a human would even interact with a local service provider. Okay, but today, because every human's being carries a cell phone in their pocket, our brains are bombarded with thousands of digital noise every day. We have developed, extreme cognitive filters to aggressively deflect irrelevant information. Like recent data reveals that it takes about an average of 20 distinct marketing exposure for a customer or a consumer to merely recognize and feel comfortable interacting with your brand. So 20 times, think about the math on that, okay? If it takes about 20 exposures to build foundational trust, and you are trying to do that manually, cold calling people or sending them physical mails once a quarter, you see, you will get burned out. Your system will be crashing out immediately. And the most painful part is that you will never hit a threshold, okay, or a threshold. So you are running an active deficit. See, the psychological research shows that the mere exposure only works if the initial encounters are neutral, low pressure, and value driven. Okay, so what am I saying is that if your first interaction with a local prospect is an aggressive sales pitch, like, hey, do you want to sell your house, or do you want to list your house with me today? You create an immediate psychological reactance. Okay, you flag yourself as a high friction threat, completely destroying the familiarity loophole before it even starts with, before the conversation or before any deal is moved forward with you and a prospect. So you need to take note of this. So how do allied real estate agent team solve this without turning client acquisition into full-time manual nightmare? Now, they do not do it manually, okay? They deploy what we call, an automated omnipresence agent. Now, what am I talking about? It's just simple, an AI system. Instead of them chasing one by one clients, like what they do, that they come to us, we use a structured kinetic AI ecosystem to programmatically engineer the near exposure effect across their local geographical area points. So what we do for real estate agent is very, very simple. First, we completely eliminate the need for them to sit in the front of camera recording content over and over. So we utilize highly optimized AI architecture to select localized avatars, engines, and voice pipeline that generates, hyper realistic, high value real estate content tailored to specific, neighborhoods that they want. So the content doesn't just scream, buy from me, buy from me. No, it doesn't do that. Instead, it solves a localized problem, shares the market data, and breaks down complex property framework. Next, we structure or we map this content into automated distribution protocols. The moment an asset is generated, it is systematically fed into a targeted feed and infrastructure and organic short-form distribution maps. Okay, when a high-intent prospect in your local market maybe opens their Instagram reels, okay, they see your asset breaking, their neighborhood, okay, trends. Now, when they go to YouTube to look up for property values, your targeted systems asset also appears again. When they open Facebook, they see highly clean dark mode visual of latest local listings or virtual staging masterclass to the prospect. Feels like a pure coincidence to them. Okay, they realize that their subconscious mind is actually registering your specific brand style, your design accent, your messaging over and over again. By the time you see them coming through, is because they see you more than maybe the 15th to 20th time. Their brain has completely surrendered its cognitive friction to you. Okay, so you have successfully flipped the power dynamics of the market. You're no longer an intrusive solicitor. Okay, you are the undisputed family of familiar local authority to them. So that is what they will see you as. So they see you as a family. The brain quickly captures you as a family. Okay, so we have talked about familiarity, but building familiarity is only half the battle. Once the mere exposure has primed the market, you have an immediate autonomous infrastructure to capture that intake the exact seconds they speak, the exact seconds they hit into your pipeline from the ad ads, from any lead source you're running. You see, when we talk about familiarity, you see, familiarity creates the desire for them to reach out to you, to reach out to your brand. But if that prospect clicks your asset at maybe 10 p.m. and your team doesn't reply for hours, that hard-earned momentum is instantly erased. Every familiarity built is instantly erased. That is why our AI agency In our system, our infrastructure connects your omnipresence engine directly to your autonomous, inbound booking system. When a prospect finally breaks the ice and drops a message to your brand, our AI system triggers an instant conversational response within 45 seconds in the window. Okay, it deploys an advanced sales psychology to dynamically qualify their buying, their timeline, verify their budget, handle their objections seamlessly, and automatically drop them onto your calendar or your view. Now, we're not talking about replacing humans. Now, I'm not saying you should not use your human sales agent. What I'm saying is that you should use AI to actually amplify your human sales agent. Now, in most cases, most of these leads might want to actually speak to your humans immediately, but you have AI to actually structure it rather than no one answering the call. AI to actually say, okay, we're going to book a dream in the next 1 hour with so sales agents, or the next 30 minutes. Okay, so now the AI is going to alert your agent. So, okay, you have to a hot lead in the next 30 minutes. At least it has given that prospect a certainty that they're going to respond. So if your system do not have certainty, you had issue, you're going to lose everything immediately. So what do we do? Our AI sales agents sends them a booking link to actually log them in. Now, you don't need to manually spend all your life managing software, tracking data systems. The technology scales the psychology for you. You can continue doing real estate the old way, or you're going to spend thousands of dollars on cold calling or database. Yeah, you're going to do that, chasing tire kickers, people who are actually coming to waste your time. Or you can choose to engineer your market this psychological way on autopilot. Okay, so click the link in the pinned comment or description below to step inside of our leek agentive portal, which is on WAP, and actually review our tier 2 omnipresence engine. Okay, and we'll audit your client deployment workflow and install a complete autonomous client acquisition system in your brokerage today. So stop chasing the market, my friend, and let the infrastructure pull the market for you. So thank you very much for watching this video. And before you actually leave to actually click on the description or comment anything, please do me a favor to actually subscribe and share this video to anyone who might actually need it. Okay, and you can comment anything in the comments. You can actually do your own research. Okay, you can do your own research and actually give me any objection, and I will actually reply you in the comment section below. So yeah, if there's anything more further to say, hit me on my Instagram and also connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can also message me on my email. I will actively respond to you. If you're having any clear problem in the real estate industry, struggling to generate leads, or you're a new real estate agent, please reach out and I'll see you in the next side. Thank you very much, guys.